It's your girl, Missy Speaks, and I'm back. Yes, with some more hot topics. How y'all been? How y'all been doing? I tell you, it's been a crazy couple of days, but I'm back on course to kind of give you the dealio on what's happening in these Hollywood streets, okay? And it's been a lot going on, especially with the whole Diddy thing. We got some stuff going on behind the scenes with old Jaguar. Jaguar, right? Of course, she's out here talking that smack, and I'm starting to believe her these days. We also have Dr. Umar putting his 2 cents, or should I say negative 2 cents in. Who else we got? We got J-Lo. We got a lot of good stuff today, so just hang tight with me for a few minutes, and I'll get you all into these details. So before we start, don't forget, y'all, to please like and subscribe to this channel and like the video. Like it up, like it up, like it up. It gets into the algorithm on YouTube, and it lets folks know that you enjoy the content, and allows other people to enjoy it as well. So please like up the video, and please subscribe. I love you guys so much for checking in with me today. Now let's get into these hot topics, okay? First up, we are going to have a little chit chat about Miss J-Lo and Ben. Yes, J-Lo and Ben back in the news as if J-Lo needs any more bad press, okay? But it's really funny to me because there's been some swirling of news going around in these streets that she and Ben are on the rocks, or splitzo dunzo, or getting a divorce, as they say, the big D. Now, we don't know how true this is yet, but there have been a lot of grumblings going on, from Ben walking around with no wedding ring on, and J-Lo shopping for a house without him. So yeah, those are definitely big red flags. Cosmopolitan has a report out here questioning the same thing as well. Under Cosmopolitan's website, it says Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck seen smiling in a car, but source says tension is high. So yeah, there has been some words in the street that these two aren't doing too great. In this article, it says, we have yet another dispatch from the confusing world. What's going on with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez? According to a new source that's entered that chat, the couple's marriage isn't over. However, they're definitely having tension, and not to mention living apart. Okay, guys, I wanted to react to this. Say that these two have not split, but they're living apart. That's a split to me, okay? Oh my God. Okay, and I'm reacting to this fresh, new. I'm reading it as you guys are hearing about it, because I wanted to have a raw reaction to what this article is, and I'm in shock right now. I didn't know they were living apart. Oh my God, the hot topics are giving me hot topics. Okay, back to work. Okay. Jen and Ben's relationship is not over yet, but they have been staying in separate homes. Ciao. It's over. This thing is ding, okay? It's over. Okay. They have been staying in separate homes, and the tension has been high, the insider tells Entertainment Tonight. They are taking a second to figure out what each of them is going through and wants. Both of them have been very down, as in depressed. Well, yeah, if you're living in separate houses, I would say you're depressed for sure. Okay, for what it's worth, Ben was seen without his ring on Friday in photos shared TMZ. But then on Saturday, he and J-Lo were snapped laughing together in a car. Okay, here's that picture of them in the car. They look like they're hostages of each other. If one of them blinks twice, we should call EMS and SOS to go out and save them. Here's the picture, and You guys tell me what you see. Is that like a forced photo or what? That is so. Okay, let's go on because that photo looks very, very, very weird, very awkward, very forced, very somebody come save me, and I don't know which one. But anyway, meanwhile, a source told Us Weekly last week that Jen and Ben are having issues in their marriage. They started having issues a few months ago as Jen had started ramping up work commitments and prepping for her tour. And Ben is like a really, really private, laid back person. You can tell he didn't even want to be in that This Is Me film that she did with Prime. You could tell he didn't even want to be in that film. He is very, very private. And Jen is like, hi, this is me. Come talk to me. I'm Jennifer Lopez. I'm wonderful. So they're so opposite, and the very thing that attracted them to each other, it seems to be repelling them now. And you would think he would know that after all these years because he spun the block and married her. This isn't a new person in his life that he didn't know until recently and decided to marry. He's known J-Lo for decades. So, I don't understand, why this kind of part of her personality was an issue for him, her being so outgoing and in the public's face. Why would he even marry her? Because she's no different now than she was back then. So it says, just an FYI, tabloid In Touch was the one to break this Bennifer relationship news. And by that I mean an insider told them the writing is on the wall. It's over. They're headed for a divorce. And for once, Ben's not to blame. Well, yeah, considering all the noise that's been in the media about J-Lo, they might be right about that. They'll never stop loving each other, but she can't control him and he can't change her. That part. So yeah, he knew what it was. It says right here that they are on two completely different pages most of the time. And you can tell that as well. Every time you're taking you see pictures of these two, Ben looks miserable. Jennifer is always yelling at him and putting him in his place. You can, no matter where they go, she's complaining one way or another about his behavior, and he's looking at her like, will you chill the hell out? He wants to change that very thing that attracted him to her, and Jennifer, is definitely controlling, okay? And it can't help. I don't know how much Ben even cares about this, but there's been a lot coming out in the media. Good. There's been a lot coming out in the media about Jennifer and her personality and her bad behavior and her just not being relatable and rude to people that she's worked with on the set, telling them they can't look at her in the eye when they talk to her, just kind of intimidating people unnecessarily. I don't know if it's consciously or unconsciously. These are all things that are alleged, but a lot of people came out after that This Is Me movie came out on Prime, and they started speaking against her and talking about what kind of person she was in real life. Even the Latin community started, turning their backs on her. So maybe just all of this stuff coming out about Jennifer, and that's not just Ben. Ben probably could see it all along, but now that he knows that the rest of the world has been seeing what he's seeing, it's probably confirmation to him that he's made another mistake in choosing the wrong woman. Or he made a mistake in leaving the last Jennifer. That maybe he should go back to that one. I know, shady. All I know is Jennifer, the only reason I ever had a good perspective or impression of Jennifer was because she used to always go on the Wendy Williams show. And her and Wendy had such a great relationship. And so she was able to control the narrative about her personality on that show and make everybody think she was a sweet person. I think the worst thing that could have ever happened to her was the Wendy Williams show going off air. because Wendy was the only one who kind of went easy on her, and they had such a great chemistry that it was easy to fool the world that she was a really sweet and fun girl. You know, Wendy used to always say, yeah, I love Jennifer. She's a girl's girl. She loves love. And so it made everybody else love her. You know, whatever Wendy said, word was bond, okay? We went with whatever Wendy said. And for that reason, and that reason alone, was the only reason I liked Jennifer Lopez. Now, I'm not going to say that. Like I said, I've got some connections in the entertainment world, and let's just say the only reason I liked Jennifer was because she was on Wendy's show. And Wendy was so endearing towards her. And you know, Wendy was a hard ass. It wasn't easy, you know, to have Wendy on your side. So I think Ben is beginning to see what everybody else sees. And he probably came to that realization after her little movie came out, and he was kind of looking at her like, wow, they see what I see. I must have made a huge mistake. On top of the fact that, you know, even out in the open, she's always kind of like starting arguments with him and stuff. They're always caught on camera arguing. Remember that time she was walking to her car and she got in the car and he slammed the door after she got in? You could tell they were having an argument even in that moment. And then I think paparazzi caught them in that same day in the car arguing and got pictures. You know, TMZ gets pictures of everything. So, yeah, something ain't right in the buttermilk. I got a feeling that we're going to hear more about this situation. And we'll probably be hearing divorce rumors, more than just rumors, in the very near future. So I don't know, hope they can work it out, but if it's not good and it's toxic, maybe they need to move on. Oh well. All right, moving on. Who we gonna talk about next, child, in these streets? Child, Dr. Umar. Oh, Dr. Umar. Of course, you know, in the news, we have been dealing with this whole Diddy debacle and just the horrible things that we've witnessed that he's done on video, on camera. You know, just the fact that, you know, Diddy beat this woman up on camera. He knew he was on camera, then paid a hotel, I guess the video, the people who were watching the videos at the hotel, was it the security? I guess he paid the security of the hotel off $50,000 to get rid of the video, which they obviously didn't, or give him the video. I think maybe the reason why we were able to see this video was because when they did that raid, they found the video in his house. So he probably paid them to give him the video. And if that's the case, why the hell would he keep it? He was probably watching it over and over again. Master being to it, because that's just how sick Diddy is. It makes no sense. If you had the video all this time, if you paid them to give you the video, why would you keep it? That is very, very bizarre. Because if they did that raid and found that video, you definitely deserve to be exposed for the sick bastard that you are. But anyway, Dr. Umar had some things to say. He had some input to share on this particular situation. He feels like Diddy is going to be able to redeem himself somehow. Now, mind you, Chris Brown did the same thing to Rihanna, only we didn't get to see it. Okay, we didn't get to see live video of him doing those horrible things to Rihanna. He still hasn't recovered from it. So Dr. Umar thinks Diddy somehow is going to recover from this foolishness. He put up an Instagram post, and this is a post that Hollywood Unlocked shared as well. And it says, I'm not going to give this too much energy, as we have far more important issues to address than what happened 10 years ago. Really? There's something more important right now than DV and, abuse from men and marginalized situations that women have been dealing with for years, Dr. Umar, there's some. I thought you, of all people, who are always going up for the black woman and protecting the black woman, I would think that you would be championing this issue and wanting to address it full on. But instead, you're saying that, yeah, we got other things to think about, other things to talk about. And correction, Dr. Umar, this happened 8 years ago, not 10. And it doesn't matter if it happened 50 years ago. The fact that you pedestalize people because they're wealthy, that it's okay to overlook these behaviors, and the fact that they have been abusive, that makes you no different than him. It really makes you no different than him. But I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of his statement because it really upset me. It said, however, this isn't the end for Diddy. TD Jakes will help him set up his own mega church. Why? So when people go into the church, the walls can start bleeding? Honey, anybody that walks into a Diddy mega church will probably need an exorcism. Okay? So now he's saying TD Jakes is gonna help him set up his own mega church. Ah! Lord help us. He will be saved and baptized and will probably make more money as a pulpit pimp than he ever has as a mogul. A pulpit. Okay, are we being sarcastic? Poppy will rise from the ashes, born again. You know what? You better hope, we all better hope that you're just being snide and sarcastic and this is a joke. But even if it is a joke, just take the temperature of the room, Dr. Umar. This is not the time. And you better be careful, okay? Because I don't think anybody's going to be taking any advice from a man who spends all of his time big upping the black woman, but then going to the DR and doing this. Roll the tape.
My Dominican Republic Africans are Africans, brothers and sisters. My Dominican Republic Africans are Africans, brothers and sisters. They might speak Spanish. They might be a little lighter than the rest of us, but they are African. You know how I know? Because the Dominican Republic queens are 5'5", dick in the thighs. They are African. Believe me. Believe me. Yes, the revolutionary Pan-African fast. What are we up to? We up to the... We must stay focused, my brothers, in the Dominican Republic. We must stay focused. We up to the... We must stay focused, my brothers.
Right. So you need to shut your mouth up and be quiet. It seems to me that Dr. Umar is chiming in because it's been real quiet out in these Hollywood streets and no one's been talking about him. So what happens when no one's talking about you? You pull a Clay. And by Clay, I'm talking about Clay from Love is Blind. You do something ridiculous like hang out with prostitutes and OnlyFans girls who rent out their bodies in exchange for change, just so you can get clicks and views on the internet while you embarrass your mother. So yes, Dr. Umar is doing the same thing. He is putting his 2 cents in because he knows it's going to get him clicks and views. It's going to get us talking about him like we are right now on the Hot Topics. And then he's going to go back in his hole and start trying to fish around and get people to donate money to this school that has never opened, that he's been talking about for the last 5 years, since the beginning actually before the pandemic. So you need to check yourself, because while you're over there in the Dominican Republic chasing Spanish booty or Latin booty, and probably Latin underage booty, because anybody who goes over to the DR, to Colombia, to the Philippines, we all know that the men that go over there, we know what they're going over there to do. And unfortunately, people who are disadvantaged in those countries, they're typically also underage when they're out there giving themselves up in exchange for money to take care of their families. While American men go over there, and as well as men from other countries as well. But a lot of American men or passport bros or whatever you want to call them go over there and take advantage of these young girls in exchange for money. So, Dr. Umar, we know why you over there in the DR. Don't try to make it all about, oh, these are my African sisters also. Right, no. We all know that you just need to check yourself. You need to check yourself, keep your comments to yourself before we start digging into your background to see what kind of harem you got going on. And if you are physically abusive to them, because you are too quick to be dismissive, you are really quick about being dismissive of what P. Diddy did. And anybody who is dismissive of that situation makes you kind of look at them sideways to say, why is that? What's going on in your background? What are you doing in your spare time? Allegedly. This is about all the time that Dr. Umar deserves from me. Moving on. Up next, who's on the roster? Well, let's segue into what it is. That was a good segue into what it is that I wanted to talk about today. One of the things that I wanted to talk about next, which is Diddy himself. Yes, Diddy's another man who obviously doesn't know how to read the room, and that is an understatement, okay? That is truly, truly an understatement. So, Diddy was caught. I wouldn't say caught. It almost looks very staged. I'm looking here at the Daily Mail, and it says here that Diddy takes a smoke break with pals as he steps out for the first time since shocking video of him beating Cassie Ventura and apology. Okay, that was just like yesterday. You would think after something like this happens, he would spend a little time reflecting and just staying out of people's faces. Where the hell is his PR people? Oh, I forgot. If he had PR people, then he wouldn't be in this situation. Exactly. So, and if you look at the second photo, what is he doing? Busting a move? I mean, what does he think? He's in one of his stupid music videos? Why is this man outside in the public's face after what he did? Because he thinks he's invincible. Because he thinks there will be no repercussions of what he did. And now, after the apology, because you recall he talked about his dad and his dad being a hustler. There's even like a documentary about it from years ago. And now he's trying to play on that to change the narrative. This is all about changing the narrative. Look at the brooch that's around his neck. That's him and his dad, okay? And he put that on because now he wants people to sympathize with his behavior, to say, I'm really a sick man because of how I grew up, because of the father I had. Honey, we have all had difficult lives. Honey, I could tell you 10 stories about my life that will make you want to pay me for a Lifetime movie, for real. But I am not my experiences, okay? I didn't become let's put it this way. I have seen some awful things myself. But I didn't turn into the person that did the awful things to me just because I have a bout of PTSD from those situations. Look at Rihanna. Horrible things were done to her. And now she's a successful billionaire, a beautiful mother of two, and with a doting fiance or boyfriend. I'm not sure what the situation is with their relationship, but they seem very happy. Rihanna came from a very poor background, but, and I don't know Rihanna personally, but the point is, she turned lemons into lemonade. Diddy decided to become the very thing that he said was awful about his father. Well, really, it seems to me like he enjoyed it, because anybody who keeps surveillance video after paying 50 grand to get rid of it is somebody who not only keeps it, but goes back and watches it and enjoys it. Allegedly, I bet. Anyway, the Daily Mail is writing here that Sean Diddy Combs was pictured smoking a cigarette in his native Miami after breaking his silence with an apology clip after a shocking clip of him beating up his former girlfriend Cassie Ventura surfaced this week. The 54-year-old rapper was clad in a white fisherman's hat with a white t-shirt, shorts, and black sandals while out on a walk after posting an apology to social media. And mind you, in that apology, he never even mentioned Cassie's name. So I guess he was apologizing to us because he's so concerned about losing revenue, because he makes his money by having his name attached to products that he claims to own, but he really doesn't. Like that Ciroc liquor and all that other liquor he lied and said he owned, but he didn't. So he also wore a necklace with the image of his late father, Melvin Combs, who was fatally shot at the age of 33 in New York City, posing next to a child. Combs, in October of 2013, took to Instagram to detail the death of his father for the first time in conjunction with a Revolt TV project he'd been working on. So that must have been the documentary that I saw online earlier today when I did a little research on this. In a preview clip for the TV special, the musical artist explained how he squared his own life with the one his father led. My father was killed when I was 3 years old, he said. My father was a hustler. He was a drug dealer. He was a hustler, so I learned early in life there's only two ways out: dead or in jail. It made me work even harder. Okay, Daily Mail, did he pay you guys to try to change the narrative? Because we don't care, okay? We really don't care. I've lost my husband, my brother, and my father, each within 10 to 8 years time in between each other. But I didn't go out murdering people, beating people up. I didn't go out and do things to hurt other people just because I had bad life experiences. Why is he trying to sit here and justify his behavior? And you can tell this man is a devil because he's trying to change the narrative. So basically, Daily Mail is going into, and of course, by him wearing that necklace, that's where the story is going to get picked up. Okay? He wants people to see that, oh, I'm hurting. I lost my father. I act this way because of him. When the point of the matter is, one has nothing to do with the other. We all have a choice in life. We choose to be who we are. You're an adult. You're not a child, Diddy. So I'm just not going to keep reading this, because now all they want to do is talk about his 2013 revolt, the 2013 revolt story that he put out about his dad and all these quotes about that. You know, all of that is irrelevant. We have a choice in life. And Diddy, again, just this display right here of him walking around in the street, being in our faces, putting his father's little. He ain't never worn that necklace. I ain't never seen him wear this before, ever. So why now? Because you're trying to change the narrative. I hope you get everything that you deserve that's coming to you for what you did, and for all the other people that have been affected by your hate, and you being a tyrant and an abusive individual. You're a monster. And quite frankly, I'm done talking about Diddy. I'm just waiting for the cops to come put the cuffs on you, and then hopefully that will be the next time you and I guys will be talking about Diddy again, because he is a despicable human being. Just you could tell he has absolutely he absolutely just doesn't care. Why would you go to Miami and then pose for the cameras? Because you knew the paparazzi was going to be following you. This is all a grift for attention, and a grift for getting the public back on your side again. You are a horrible person. Well, I guess the world already knows that. You can't make people better. So, moving on. Oh, yes. Let's talk about our girl Jaguar Wright. Jaguar has been in these social media streets, y'all. She's been doing interviews, and she just recently did an interview with it's called Real Life Productions. It's on YouTube. And it was a really good interview. Jaguar Wright can tell a story, honey. And I know she's very demonstrative with the way that she tells her stories. She really is. So it almost makes you wonder, should I believe this woman? Because she sounds absolutely insane, right? But a lot of stuff that she's been talking about when it just comes to various celebrities that she's had encounters with. Jaguar Wright is in the business. She's an artist as well. She was a neo soul artist, like a Jill Scott type of artist. So she is very familiar about what happens in these streets in Hollywood. And so now people, especially after what has happened to Diddy, people are sitting up and they're taking note and listening to what she's got to say. In this video, she also mentions that, she mentions some things about Jay-Z, which are pretty shocking. The headline on this video is Jaguar Wright speaks to Diddy after public apology. And then she says Jay-Z apologies coming next. And what she's saying here in this video is that Jay-Z is just like Diddy. Now, we've heard rumblings about Jay-Z allegedly being in the same world with the what is it called? The freak offs. I don't know if they're called freak offs for him, but she's saying that he's no different than Diddy, allegedly. Honey, and I'm going to say allegedly all through this part because I ain't got no money to be fighting Diddy or Jay-Z. But Jaguar, she's like no allegedlys at all. She's coming out with the sauce, honey. And she's basically speaking of her firsthand experience with Jay-Z. I'll let Jaguar explain it the way Jaguar does. Take a listen.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the Diddler. And I know that for a fact. I've got the scars to prove it.
So, there's been so many people on the internet trying to figure out where you are. They're watching you. They're doing all types of stuff trying to figure you
You
out.
want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you. I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That Cassie shit, that's nothing.
So are you trying to say like Jay-Z put hands on you?
I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy. And they're going to be crazy. It's going to be the women that get them in the end.
So you say that Jay-Z...
Fuck Jay-Z! And I think it's time for him to start speaking up about his very good friend. Just 9 months ago, you were singing his praises. All that he's done for the culture. And how you gotta be crazy like Diddy to make it. Then you didn't want to sit next to him at the Grammys. Told everybody that he had cooties. And canceled the Rock Nation brunch. Which is your favorite event. Because that's how you line up who you gonna move around next year. Like y'all did with Clarence Avant.
So yeah, as you can see, when I heard her say that, and then she basically alluded to the fact that Jay-Z put hands on her. You heard the person in the interview ask her that, and she's saying that he knows what he did and he has the tapes. Oh my God. And you know what's crazy? Now I know typically Jay-Z and Beyonce, they don't typically respond to nonsense. You know, they don't typically respond to rumors. They don't typically respond to people talking crap about them in the news. But like even when Lil Mama hopped on stage and embarrassed Jay-Z, he did come out in an interview at some point and said that he was angry with her. And he felt like she took away from all the hard work that he and Alicia Keys had put into prepping for that performance. So eventually he did address it. Jaguar Wright has been talking crap about Jay-Z for years. And Diddy and everybody else in the industry that she has relationships with in the past, back when, you know, she was on a label and she was singing. And they have not said a word. That's the thing that causes me pause. Ooh. I don't know, honey, but this year, the faucet has been dripping, leaky, dripping on everybody. Everybody's stuff is coming to light. It is like there's nothing they can do to stop this ongoing drip. So I don't know what to think other than the fact that we'll find out before the year's out, because everybody seems to be being put on Front Street. So this is going to be interesting to see if what she's saying is fact, because Jay-Z still has not said a word regarding any of the interviews she's done. And you notice even when she talked about Diddy, I don't think he ever responded to any of her claims. But yet now look what's happening to him. I mean, there's so many bones falling out the closet for Diddy. He gonna need to buy a new house just to put all them extra bones. Well, that's where we are with Jaguar, right? We will continue because I'm sure she will continue to do interviews. And Jaguar, if you want to come on my channel, I would love to have you, honey. You know, I'm poor. I can't afford to pay you. But I am sure that, you know, we can work something out. All right, all right. See how much fun we having, y'all. That's why y'all need to like and subscribe. Subscribe. Please, if you are still here and you are enjoying yourself, like up the video, like it up. Alright guys, and we're going to end this on a positive note because the news has been heavy in these streets this week. We are going to close it out with Mr. Alex Fine, which is Cassie's husband. You know, Cassie has not responded to Diddy's bullshit apology, which, you know, of course, she should not respond because he doesn't deserve any oxygen from her. But her husband did respond, not necessarily to Diddy, but he was more or less talking to all those who have been similarly affected. He put a post on Instagram, and it was actually a post that he had written, he said, a long time ago, but he felt like reposting it right now just seemed very appropriate. And after reading it, I would fully and 100% agree. On his post, Alex said, "A letter to women and children. Men who hit women aren't men. Men who enable it and protect those people aren't men. As men, violence against women shouldn't be inevitable. Check your brothers, your friends, and your family. Our daughters, sisters, mothers, and wives should feel protected and loved. Hold the women in your life with the utmost regard. Men who hurt women hate women. To all the survivors, find the men and women who help and love. To all the survivors, your stories are real, and people believe you. To all the survivors, you're not alone, and there are men and women who care only for your well-being and safety. We want you to succeed and flourish. To all the women and children, I'm sorry you live in a world where you're not protected and you don't feel equal. I want to raise my daughters in a world where they are safe and loved. To the abusers," and this is to Diddy for sure, "to the abusers, you're done. You're not safe anymore. You're not protected anymore. The men by your side, Dr. Umar, are just as weak. You're so miserable with yourself that unaliving would be considered a kindness." Yes, God. That was on point. And we appreciate you putting this out there and writing this message and reposting it again, because it's definitely within correct timing. Alex then wrote on the side, not on the side, but under his post, he wrote in the comments section, he said that he wrote this a while back, but the words ring true, not just today, but every day. I want my kids and every kid to live in a world that's safe for women and girls, protects them and treats them as equals. To the women and children, you're not alone and you are heard. If you need help, call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233. And yes, I agree 100%. If you feel like you're in danger, if you feel violated, if you've gone through anything remotely close to something like what his wife Cassie went through, please don't be afraid to call that number, 800-799-7233. You will be heard, you will be believed, no matter what someone else tells you, no matter what your abuser tells you. And that's it. I really appreciate Alex posting that. It really touched me, and I'm sure it was encouraging words for so many other people to hear. Well, folks, that is it. I'm all good in the hood for today. I want to thank you for joining me. Again, please like, subscribe, like up the video, tell a friend, share it, and continue to come back. I am so glad to be here every day shooting out hot topics for you. It's so much fun for me. It's almost like therapy. So you guys have a wonderful and blessed rest of the Monday, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.